joining us today on Something to Think About with Pastor Mike, where the topics can range from current events, historical perspectives, practical Bible application, to whatever's on his mind today. People have stereotypes of what it means to be a Christian, and one thing's for sure, Pastor Mike loves breaking those stereotypes. Pastor Mike Hasseltine is the senior pastor of Maranatha Church with campuses in Forest Lake and Chisago, Minnesota. With over 40 years of practical pastoral ministry, Pastor Mike challenges us to be real people, loving a real God, right in the midst of all our real lives. Now, here's Pastor Mike.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the show.
Woo!
Yeah, here we go again. I love it. Back at it.
Yeah, very fun.
Yeah, it's kind of fun just kind of hang out and give people something to think about.
All the time.
You know, I was listening to that intro again, that breaking stereotypes. You know, it really is true. Mm-hmm. I can't even begin to list all the stereotypes that I try to break.
Yeah.
And I can be kind of irritating sometimes because of it.
What?
I know, what a shock, isn't it?
What?
Shock, newsflash. You know, whenever you challenge people's beliefs and what they've held dear for so long, and then you come along and go, that's really not important.
Right.
It does make them uncomfortable.
Well, and just the provocation to actually think about something that they maybe haven't thought through before.
What a concept to think. I was in a pastor's meeting the other day, and one of the pastors made a comment about he's surprised how much people just don't think. Hey, they just don't think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, it goes back to that roast beef story, the roast story. Mm-hmm. You know, where, wait, why did you cut the ends of the roast off, you know? Mm-hmm. Well, because my mom did it. Mom, why did you do it? Well, because it didn't fit in my pan. Right. You know, and there's no real rhyme or reason, but there's these ideas that we hold dear, and they really don't matter. Mm-hmm. Anyway, shifting gears. Mm-hmm. Breaking stereotypes, something to think about. Yeah. KJ is back in the producer chair.
Woohoo!
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. I think I fixed that hum issue by swapping out a cable.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah.
Continuous improvement.
Hey, he's actually working this morning.
Yeah.
How about that? Mm-hmm. He just got back from a little vacation. Is that all right to talk about for just a minute?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Is it? Okay, cool. Where'd you go?
I went to Hawaii. We were on Oahu initially for 5 nights, Waikiki Beach. And then I took my daughter up to that Disney resort just north of Honolulu.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
It was a good time.
Yeah, it's really cool. So now, you know, Pastor Robin has family connections with Hawaii. So when you talk about, you know, the different, I can't even name the islands of Hawaii. Mm-hmm. I don't even know a clue. But if you talk about Hawaii, Robin understands, you know, hey, where you were, what you're doing.
He, in particular, was on a different island than the one that I've only ever been to one island, Maui.
Oh,
really?
Sure. Yep.
Yes.
I've been to Maui as well.
Yeah. So.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So the house was in Maui.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that's the island that had the extreme fire here a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, Lahaina.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, devastating.
So were you on that island this time?
No. Oahu is kind of the main tourist trap, and Waikiki is your stereotypical tourist trap vacation.
Okay.
And very famous from like the 40s, 50s, you know. Wasn't Elvis, like, there are movies around Elvis being on Waikiki Beach or something?
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know. So
That sounds familiar.
I've been to a few of the islands. I kind of prefer Waikiki. You don't need a car. There's plenty of great places to eat.
That's great.
It does definitely seem a little more touristy.
Yep.
I haven't been there in 8 years, and even from 8 years ago, it seems a bit more of a tourist trap.
Even built up more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that the island where Hawaii 5-0, the hotel is? 'Cause I remember seeing the hotel as our tour guide was driving through one time. He says, hey, this is the hotel where, you know, the actor, whatever, it comes out onto the porch and looks over the beach as the helicopter's coming by, and the Hawaii 5-0 thing.
Yes.
Was that on that island?
Yep.
I would guess.
Yes.
I thought so.
I don't know the show, but
Yeah, you're too young. Oh yeah, it was a staple, you know, for us. It was probably not as a teenager, but just late teens. That show was probably around. Yeah, Hawaii 5-0. Book 'em, Danny. That was the phrase in the show, you know. I can't remember the lead actor's name.
Steve Garrett.
Steve Garrett, yes. And then he had a sidekick. This character's name was Daniel.
Daniel.
Hey, book 'em, Daniel.
Book 'em,
and
Daniel.
didn't you go to Hawaii recently too?
Let's see, not recently. I was there. Oh, yeah, yes, I was. Okay, see, I don't have Alzheimer's. I have sometimers. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't. I was there just less than a year ago. You're right. It was earth-shattering, really memorable for me, wasn't it?
Don't they dock in Honolulu? I would assume they do.
I don't know.
You didn't get off?
Oh yeah, many times.
Oh.
And we went to many islands.
Oh, okay.
On the cruise, we went to many islands. You get off and do an excursion or something on this island and that island.
Sure.
KJ, one thing you need to understand: I take a lot of motorcycle trips. You know, I've been blessed enough to travel. You know, because I've been to Rome and different parts of Italy with Orlean, and then without her. Been to Thailand a few times and had a chance to be Puerto Rico, the British Virgin Islands. Just a lot of different places, the Dominican Republic.
Cuba.
Cuba, been to Cuba. And I never remember where I was. I could literally just get back and say, so where'd you go? And I'm going, hello, went somewhere.
So what do you remember?
I remember the people. Yeah, for me, I'm in the moment in people. I don't remember the place. Even many motorcycle trips.
Without the people, you would just be in a place, and it wouldn't be very memorable. I think that's true with any place.
Yeah, I do. I like visiting with people, and Orlean every once in a while will say, "Mike, you are with me."
Yeah,
because I could be in a line, and all of a sudden I'm visiting with people in the line and talking, and it's yep. So even on, like I said, the motorcycle trips I've been on, we come back and I don't remember where we've been. I will literally not remember. It's kind of crazy.
That's why I take pictures.
That's right. Look back and remember. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh, I remember that. Like the adventure to Alaska on a motorcycle with Jay Falk, one of the other producers. It was a great trip. He'll say, hey, Mike, do you remember when we were in blah, 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 whatever place? I go, no. But then he says, well, we did this or we did that. And I go, oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember the experience. I don't remember where we were.
Sure.
Just doesn't matter. But welcome home. You guys had a great time, huh?
Yeah, there was a tropical storm that rolled through there. It didn't hit Oahu as bad. It did rain. There was some flooding. On the plus side, we didn't get sunburned. It was still hot. We still swam. And then likewise up at the Disney Resort, the last day the sun peeked through for maybe 15, 20 minutes. And we stayed an extra day because of the storms there and then the snowstorms in Minnesota. I didn't want to get hung up at the airport. But yeah, the last day at the Disney Resort, I mean, we literally pushed it to the last minute. And the sun probably came through a good 15, 20, 30 minutes max. But the plane ride home, my daughter had just the reddest cheeks, and we had to get some aloe at the airport. She's putting it on there, but we didn't get sunburn otherwise.
So literally just that 15 minutes of intense, unscreened sun.
Oh, yeah.
And I would imagine the rays came through the clouds.
Well, the clouds too,
yeah, for sure.
I did feel it maybe the second to the last night a bit on my shoulders. I'm like, I got some sun. We weren't really putting sunscreen on. I shouldn't say that. We did the first few days, and then after it getting cloudy, I was like, I don't think we really.
See, the clouds are the deception. They really are, because it all comes through.
It does come through anyway. So another question. Did you, so obviously you had to fly from one island to another, because you went on a couple islands?
Nope,
you stayed just on the one island? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay, because over there, what I remember is that people take these little shuttle flights from one island to another all the time. They get around. In fact, you can buy if you're a resident there, you can buy a pass or something, and you can get around. Otherwise, it's like, what, $75?
I don't know.
No idea?
We never did that.
Yeah, it's not very expensive, and it's quick. 45 minutes, an hour max, maybe.
And you're up and down, and you're in another place.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's very, very cool. When's the last time you were there, Robin?
Last year.
Last year?
About this time last year.
You got a good memory. KJ asked me, hey, weren't you recently in Hawaii? Oh, no, I was back, it was quite a few years ago. Yeah. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right, I was.
Hey, I have a travel thing that you might be interested in.
Uh-oh.
Nope. National Geographic has their National Geographic 33. And it's a list recognizing individuals that contribute to exploration, storytelling, and global awareness. And It's an annual selection that they do, and they just named Ian McGregor one of their 33 because he and his buddy, Charlie, did the whole Long Way Round series around the world.
Yeah.
The motorcycle trips around the world.
Yep.
Yeah, if you haven't seen those, they're awesome.
Yeah, I haven't.
My family watched all the way through every one of those series because it's just delightful in their friendship. But the places that they go and the little situations they get in with all kinds of things is just really fascinating.
Yeah.
But anyway, National Geographic 33 for storytelling. It's a motorcycle trip.
So is that a YouTube type show? How would you see it? Where would you go?
I wonder if we saw it on Apple TV or something. I can check into that.
Yeah.
And see, yeah.
Watch the series.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, very, very cool stuff. So how are you today?
Great.
You're good? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Hey, what kind of national days we got?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so very
Let's hit
interesting.
the national days.
Today is National Macaron Day.
Macaron?
Yep, not macaroon. That's got coconut. Macaron is like the little, and they're baked and they're crispity.
How
They're
do
just
you know,
so.
Robin, it always amazes me. You know this stuff. It's like, my gosh. Hey, to our listeners out there, send in a query about some kind of a weird food. We'll test Pastor Robin to see if she knows it.
Oh boy, very fun.
Because I think you'll know it.
We'll see. It's also National Future Generations Day, which encourages people to make wise choices globally, environmentally for future generations that are coming.
Makes sense.
It's also National Proposal Day, encouraging people who were hesitant in long-term relationships to propose.
Get off the pot.
Yep. It is also spring, the first day of spring.
True, it is.
in the
Happy
United States.
spring to both of you.
Happy spring.
And to all of our listeners.
Yeah.
You're right. Happy spring.
Happy spring.
Yeah.
It's National Native HIV Awareness Day.
National what?
Native. Yep.
Awareness.
Indigenous folks.
Yep.
And it's also National Ravioli Day. Do you like ravioli?
Yeah, I don't have it very often.
Yeah.
Don't have opportunity to.
Yeah, good stuff. Depends upon what it's stuffed with. But
Sunday, we're going to be taking one of our granddaughters out to Olive Garden, so
Ooh.
maybe I'll have a chance. It'll be a choice,
That sounds
an
good.
option.
Well, you can gear up because Saturday is National French Bread Day.
French bread. Ooh, I like French bread.
Oh, yeah. Sunday is National Goof Off Day.
Sunday?
We got to be prepared
Watch
for the week
out,
coming.
man. Sunday, here we come.
Sunday's National Goof Off Day. Now, Monday
Oh,
is
boy.
a very special
That's
day.
kind of my day, I think.
It's National Tamale Day, Monday.
Oh, tamales.
Tamales, I'm telling you what, got a little Mexican woman living on the inside of me.
Is she angry or happy?
Oh, she's happy with
She's
all
a
the
happy
food.
Mexican woman? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Wednesday is Tolkien Reading Day. So for all you folks out there, read some Tolkien.
J.R. Tolkien?
Very cool. And that's about all I have to share for that. But there was some interesting, let me see here, this day in Christian history. Here's an interesting one.
Christian history.
Christian history. In 1653, Oliver Cromwell's government created a court of 43 commissioners to examine all ministers who are awarded church positions in England to certify their fitness for ministerial service.
So their fitness, I'm sure that was multifaceted, or do you know anything more about their fitness? Were they to check their theological accuracy,
I believe
their
that's
physical
the case.
health?
No, I believe it was just
their
that
stamina?
they were teaching correct things. So, yeah.
That should be done more often.
Amen. Yeah, I don't think we need a official government position to do that, but it sure would be wise to get some education in that area.
I'm just thinking of, and you can read my mind, because how often I go there, I run into people, and I can't believe the things they preach and the things they talk about,
Well, and
like as if it's truth.
And unfortunately, it just can do a whole lot of
People
damage. Yeah.
base a lot of
Oh, my
theology on their personal experience. It's like your personal experience never dictates theology. It's better to say, I am wrong. This happened, but this is not the way God does things.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. I know. It's very, I think it is we all as humans have inclination to take our personal preference and our unrealized biases maybe and all of that and read it into Scripture instead of doing some research and finding out what the appropriate context was for the original, and then how do those principles apply to us today. So,
because of all the lies we tell ourselves, again, all the staff around here, they know I joke about it. Someday preaching a message, you can't handle the truth. You know, how many times have you heard me say that? And then people say, hey, when are you going to have that sermon? I go, nope, not till the day before I die. When I'm leaving here, you know, I don't got to be held responsible to all the hate mail and everything else, because most people, they don't handle the truth. They can't. They cannot handle the truth. To survive in life, we tell ourselves lies.
I mean, I've got an image of Jack Nicholson on the stand with Tom Cruise.
That's right, yeah.
And you
can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth. So, yeah, big memory.
Yep, absolutely. Kind of wild.
Yeah.
So what else is going on in your world?
I'm really looking forward to the weather warming up. Noticed we had a great big snowstorm here the other day, and the snow is almost completely melted at the house, which is wonderful. I'm looking forward this year to more work in my gardens and in the yard, get that straightened
up. Yeah, your personal life is getting a little more settled. The last couple of years have been incredibly busy.
Yeah.
Filled with moving, get rid of one house and moving the stuff over to another house.
Oh, yeah.
And all the renovation that house required that you're moving into.
Yep.
And all that. Your husband's been very busy.
Yes.
And you as well. It's like, that's kind of coming to an end. Now you're getting really settled.
Getting a little more settled. And the other part is, you know, logically you can understand doing something is really a wise thing. Actually walking through it and, you know, handling the pain and the discomfort that comes through is just, sometimes you just got to keep moving. And so I am grateful that we have been in the process of sifting, because we were in our house almost 30 years. So being able to sift all of that stuff, and, you know, having recently gone through that to empty his parents' house, you know, that was very educational.
So you had to sift 2 houses, really. You had to kind of go through one, and you had help from his siblings.
Oh, incredible.
Yeah.
Well, and not only that, but, you know, my mother and father-in-law, my father-in-law was very sentimental. And when his parents passed away, he received all of that stuff. So it really wasn't even just going through one
generation,
couple's worth of stuff. It was like, you know, 3. We had to have a company come in and help us, but they were.
Your father-in-law was a doctor, and I've heard stories about finding, as you're going through stuff, like human skulls.
Oh, yeah.
Big bottles of pills, and just all kinds of stuff.
I know. Yeah, very interesting stuff. And
whoa, what's in this box?
Exactly.
Wonder who this is. Yeah.
I know. Lots of stories around that.
It's kind of wild. So you're telling me a story the other day, just recently, about kind of like the last boxes to go through, and it was full of Arnie's college stuff, education books, and all that kind of stuff.
Well, not quite last boxes, but in that particular pile.
Okay.
That pile's kind of last boxes.
When are we going to get to the last boxes? I feel like you've been doing this for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
It has been. So tell us about the boxes that you just went through and what happened.
It was just really very funny. So we still had, you know, a few bachelor boxes is what I call them. They were boxes that my husband brought with him when we married.
A lot of old girlfriend stuff in there?
No.
No letters?
No, these were
pictures.
Really his college books.
Oh, okay. Bachelor stuff, yeah.
All of that kind of stuff. And, you know, all the Richie Cunningham clothes were gone a long time ago. You know, all that stuff. Nope, you can't wear that out of the house. But please don't present that way. But anyway, so a lot of this were boxes, you know, books that he had accumulated in his college days and whatnot. And so, you know, they're not priority. It's not a burning house fire. But I did want to move these boxes, and I don't make those choices for him. Those are his things. But I did figure out a slow way to get this cared for. I put up a folding table.
A folding table?
Yeah, folding table.
3x8s or whatever?
And I took the books from one box and put them on top of the table and just asked him, honey, when you're passing by that area, whenever you happen to pass by that area, if you happen to want to keep any of those books, do you mind just grabbing them and putting them in a pile, and then I'll know to donate the rest? Oh, sure, I could do that. Well, he accidentally went through 4 boxes in one day.
Wow.
Because, you know, as he was walking by, he would do a quick sort, and then, of course, I would put those boxes in a donate box, and then I would put a whole other box out there. Oh, I picked up a few more if you don't mind when you walk by. Oh, not a problem. So, I mean...
You went through quite a bit of stuff.
We did. And so, just the theory of if you take a big job and you break it down into small bite-sized pieces,
They say that's how you eat an elephant.
That's right. Slow and steady, get me ready.
One at a time. So it's ironic that you brought that in the other day as a point of discussion, because I had just been thinking about going through all of the college stuff in my desk, in my drawers, in the cabinets and stuff, realizing, because I always had in the back of my mind, hey, it'd be fun maybe just to reminisce and look back through some of the college stuff and maybe glean some fresh ideas and whatever. But I just realized I've never done it. It would be nostalgic to do it if I went through it, but it would be literally so fast I'd go through it. Yeah. And then I got to go through that stuff, get rid of it.
Exactly. And one of the fun discoveries in this was the manual for the motorcycle that he gifted to someone that went on your 1, 2, 3 ride a couple years ago. And so we were able to pass that manual on, and Kevin was just really delighted.
He came in my office to show it to me, too.
Yes,
and I was like,
so
this is really so cool.
Yeah, very fun.
Back in them days, often when you bought a motorcycle, they would give you that kind of a manual. Yeah. Now you just get kind of a little owner's book. Here, don't speed. Here's the clutch. Here's the brake.
Quick start guide.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the oil drain plug. But that was a thorough manual.
Yes.
A mechanics type manual.
Yeah.
Which was really, really cool.
Yeah.
It was very cool.
Are you thinking of doing another 1, 2, 3 ride one day?
No.
Okay, that was quick.
Well, it's not because it was a bad thing. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. I just don't think we'd be able to generate the same kind of interest we did the first time. No. The first time we mentioned it, oh man, so many people got excited. A lot of people bought motorcycles that they didn't actually finish and come on the trip with us.
Sure.
But right now we're planning a old car ride.
Oh wow.
And don't designate it, so many miles. And if we did, it'd be something simple like 1,000 miles. But maybe a destination. Maybe go up to Duluth or go someplace in Wisconsin or whatever for a little ride and then come back. And the car would be, so there'd be no value. It could be, a $100,000 street rod or a $500 beater.
Wow, fun.
It's got to be just like 1964 and older.
Oh, wow. Well, one of the things you do really well is come up with interesting side quests. A lot of people do side quests, they call them these days, where it's like kind of a fun adventure in life, and it helps create more excitement about your regular life and something to look forward to and plan on. And you do that a lot, I've noticed.
Yeah. Well, life is short. Gotta live. I'm trying to squeeze 2 lifetimes into one.
How's that going?
Really well. I feel stressed oftentimes, but it's going well. It's going well. With that being said, we're talking about, this idea of passing on and going through your stuff. Yeah. The day I die, I feel bad for my wife and my kids, because I have accumulated so much stuff. You're talking about living in your house 30 years. We've lived in our house for like 36 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the house that's a big deal for me, because it's mainly clothes.
Right.
And even then, not that much. To go through my stuff in the house is going to be easy.
Right.
It's, oh, dear Lord, God bless you when you get out to the pole barn.
Well, and I
got boxes of car parts and cars in every different condition, from needing a total restoration to a rust bomber just sitting in there. And because I have in my pole barn, right now, let me think. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars in my pole barn.
Wow.
And 1, 2, 3, 4 of them start and drive.
Well, you have worked on cars as a hobby and as a necessity and as a extra income thing from like way back, right? When you and Orlean first started out.
Yeah. I kind of needed to. I'd buy an old hot rod and clean it up, fix it up a little bit, and then we'd sell it just about the time we needed some monwe and whatever else. Now, I haven't done that in a long time. Thankfully, I do make a better income now. So, But when we first started, man, life was tough. We didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. And oftentimes the cars that she had driving, when she was sitting in it, she could see the road through the floor. I mean, we've driven, and she was so patient. Oh my gosh, she's put up with so much junk, that, oh honey, I'm going to fix this, and I'm going to drive. But we drove them at the same time. I mean, I remember one time we had a 69 Nova. Very, very cool.
That sounds cool.
Had no interior.
What?
Yeah, I know. No inner door panels, nothing like that. Anyway, it was great stuff. But we're going to come back a little bit more serious in just a moment. You're listening to Something to Think About with me, Pastor Mike, a production of WAJC, Your Life Radio on 88.1 and 91.7 FM. We'd love to hear from you. If you have questions or comments about today's show, email us at wajc@yourliferadio.com. If you're ever in the Forest Lake area, I'd love to personally invite you to join us for a Sunday morning service at 9:30 a.m. or Wednesday evenings at 6:30 p.m. There's something for everyone.
Something to Think About with Pastor Mike is a production of WAJC Your Life Radio, which is owned and operated by Maranatha Assembly of God in Forest Lake, Minnesota. You can find more information on the web at realchurch.org. Now, back to Something to Think About.
Oh my gosh! Hey, welcome back. Oh man, never a dull moment around here. Mm-hmm. Yes, really, really, just cool stuff.
So you had something on your mind?
I do. I do. It's kind of half baked, kind of thing. But that's always fun to just jump into something. Psalm 34. Our theme at church this year is to trust God. Trust Him, and we trust Him because He is faithful. That's one of the underlying things that we can count on, the fact that He is faithful. Psalm 34 says, "I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul shall make its boast in the Lord. The humble shall hear of it and be glad. Oh, magnify the Lord with me. Let us exalt His name together. I sought the Lord, and He heard me and delivered me from all my fears. We looked to Him and were radiant, and their faces were not ashamed. This poor man cried out, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all his troubles. The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear Him and delivers them. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who trusts in Him." Verse 19. "Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him out of them all." And so I've been reflecting on just this idea of the faithfulness and the goodness of God, because I have more vision out of the rearview mirror of my life than I do the windshield. As I'm looking back, I am just filled with so much gratitude at just the grace of God. And I was reading, a few weeks back in Exodus chapter 3, verse 12. God was calling Moses and basically saying, "Listen, I'm gonna use you to deliver my people. I've heard their cry. I'm gonna send you to Pharaoh. He's gonna let you go, and it's gonna be glorious." So he's getting the message in verse 12 here of Exodus 3. So he said, God is speaking, "I will certainly be with you, and this shall be a sign to you that I have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you shall serve God on this mountain." I tell you what, if you're Moses, you hear that, you go, hot dang, here we go. God's calling me, we're going to do this. And Moses had to be just excited, saying, yeah, this is going to be great. I'm going to be a leader. We're going to lead them out of Egypt. And then off we go. Well, we all know the story.
Well, and things generally don't go exactly like we think they're going to go.
We see things the way we do them. We hear them. It was like, oh, wow, great. Again, we all know the story. He was met with nothing but right off the bat, Pharaoh making life difficult. Oh, you want them to go? They have time to complain and go leave? Tell you what, keep making the same amount of bricks, but I'm not going to give you the straw anymore. So all of the Israelites that Moses was going to lead out now are really super ticked off at him. They're just like, hey, thanks a lot for helping us. Yeah, you're going to get us out of here. What kind of dreamer are you? You can only imagine the hate and the persecution that were directed towards him. So we're going to fast forward a little bit, get to Exodus chapter 17. And literally, this is just one verse of many. The people were constantly griping and complaining. And we get to chapter 17, verse 4. So Moses cried out to the Lord, saying, "What shall I do with this people? They are almost ready to stone me." I mean, as you read through this, again and again and again, the people were complaining about Moses. And I can only imagine what Moses goes back to. He says, God, you said, I'm going to go deliver these people, and to proof of that, we're going to be back here worshiping.
Yeah.
How many times in every one of our lives has God spoke to us, and we thought something totally different than what the journey looked like?
Every time.
Every time. It really is. I mean, it really is. When we give our life to Christ, we right away envision just this wonderful life.
Yeah.
And if we pause a moment long enough, which I'll come back to this idea in a minute, when we look in big picture, God is good. He's always good. But he doesn't always answer things the way we want him to. Mm-hmm. So here's Moses, and it's hard to just try to imagine this. He is so excited. God called him. I'm going to go do this thing. It's great. It was nothing but pain, struggle. Even his brother Aaron and his sister Miriam came against him. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, everybody. Mm-hmm. Talk about being abandoned and hated and whatever. It's like, it's absolutely incredible.
You made a comment, I don't know if it was this Sunday. No, it wasn't this past Sunday, but the Sunday before, I think, that he was given a difficult assignment. And that phrase has just kind of rumbled around in my system ever since. He was given a difficult assignment. I think Moses thought initially he was just given an assignment.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, and he thought it'd be easy. God says, hey, I'm going to be with you.
Right.
You go for it. You got this.
How hard could this be?
How hard can this be?
Oh, it'll cost you everything.
I'm going to show myself strong. Mm-hmm. You get over to Numbers chapter 17, verse 5. Numbers 17, verse 5. And again, Moses is having trouble with the people. Again, he constantly did. So God comes up with an idea. Hey, take each leader of the 12 tribes of Israel, get a rod, and then each man write his name on it. And when we get them all together, we're going to put these rods in the presence of God. And God comes up with the idea. Verse 5. Actually, let's read verse 4 and then verse 5. Then you shall place them in the tabernacle of meeting before the testimony where I meet with you. And it shall be that, listen to God, and it shall be that the rod of the man whom I choose will blossom. Thus I will rid myself of the complaints of the children of Israel, which they make against you. In other words, hey, this is how we're going to settle it. I will choose the leader, and everybody will know that it was me who chose him, and that's going to end everything. Mm-hmm. Right. It doesn't do it. It never does. Verse 10. And the Lord said to Moses, bring Aaron's rod back before the testimony to be kept as a sign against the rebels, that you may put their complaints away from me, lest they die. There are always the rebels. There are always people who they just will never follow. They are complaining all the time. Just crazy. Mm-hmm. And at times what hurts is they're friends. They're people that are close to you.
Yeah.
I was telling the story even this morning in Bible study about, I told it yesterday too at the pastor's meeting, about literally he was a friend, a close friend. And he didn't like, because he sang a lot, and he didn't like the music that was going on at the church at the time. This was quite a few years ago. And he was suggesting and volunteering, hey, I'll do this, and you definitely should stop this and whatever else. And I said, hey, I'm not going to do that. So we're sitting in my office. I said, I'm not going to do that. And he thought he was going to push the issue. And he says, well, then I'm going to be leaving. I'm going to be leaving.
Wow.
Again, as a friend.
Yeah.
Close friend. Spent a lot of time with him. I'm going to be leaving. And I said, don't let the door hit you in the backside on the way out, mm-hmm. which surprised him too. Mm-hmm. And then he said to me, you can't afford for me to leave. I'm the best giver in church.
Wow. I don't think I've heard this story.
No, it's a great story.
Wow, that's a shame. Oh, my goodness.
It's again, this is a true story.
Wow.
It's happened. And I said to him again, hey, mm-hmm. I'm serious. I don't count on you or any man. Ever since we started the church, I never looked at what people gave, because I want to be an equal opportunity pisser offer. Mm-hmm. I do not want to be subject to this person or that person because of their giving. And
Right.
No, God is the one who's going to support this. And I told him that. I said, listen, you know something? You're right. You do make probably the biggest income than anybody in this church, and you are generous. But you know something? I am not trusting you for the support of this church.
Yeah.
It's God. And you know, there's I'm a little detour here. For any pastors or leaders out there, you need to realize the minute again, it's good to listen to counsel and to admit you make mistakes and make changes. But there's sometimes where if you do things just to keep somebody happy, now they're leading and not you.
Yep, that's right.
It's really true.
That's right.
And anyway, so our friendship from that point forward never was the same. Never was the same. He did leave, and
Wow.
yep. And yeah, then he got off into some other weird things and said that tithing wasn't real. And
That's
anyway,
too bad.
It is too bad. It's
is
really
too bad.
a shame. But there's this idea of Moses. You can't even comprehend. I can't imagine what it was like. God, you told me. And he was met with nothing but opposition, trouble, struggles, you know, and everything like that. And for anybody in leadership, you just got to expect it. So there's this wonderful balance all the time, like I just made mention, that you need to listen, you need to be teachable, but at the same time, you cannot constantly conform and please everybody. Man, if I listened to every comment that people made, I wouldn't be doing this and I wouldn't be doing that. And
You'd be a very ineffective leader.
Very ineffective. Now, there are people who, I listen to everybody, but not closely. The ones I listen to the closest are the ones that have something invested in me. They've proven that they truly are, that they love me, they want the best for me, and all that. Okay, them people, I listen. I want to listen to because they're, you know, faithful are the wounds of a friend, but many are the kisses of an enemy. Proverbs 26. So this idea of the goodness of God, I'm going to come back to that. This idea of the goodness of God, because I look at Moses' example here, and in no way, shape, or form am I comparing my life to Moses. Not at all. Please don't go there. But as I started out the second half of the show here, talking about I have more vision in the rearview mirror than I do in the windshield. So I think I've been reminiscing a little bit more often. And the one thing I come down to is this idea, I trust God. You know why? Because he's faithful. He's always been faithful. And I go back to an 18-year-old man, a young man. I was 17 when I started college, and I got there by a miracle. But I didn't get time to tell that story. But while I was there in college, so I'm 18 years old, I'm working 40 hours a week and taking 18 credits.
That's more than a full load.
Big schedule. And living in an apartment.
Okay, wow.
But one day, I was like, God, what things are going well here at school, but I never asked because I felt like I'm missing something. So I asked God one day, and I went in this little circle chapel area, and I was just sincerely asking God because I had a great relationship with God. I got saved, and I had a great relationship. So I'm there, and I'm saying, God, I feel like I'm missing something, and I realized I've never asked you, what do you want me to do? And very clearly, I heard God say, I want you to preach the word. Scared the jeepers out of me. I got up and left. I mean, just like that, in a heartbeat.
Wow.
Next day, I look around, nobody's around. I slip in, I kneel down, the same spot I was the day before. And this is exactly what I prayed. I said, Father, forgive me for walking out on you yesterday. But this is me, Mike Hazeltine. What do you want me to do? And again, I heard God say, I want you to preach the word. And I start giving God all these excuses. You know, like, I was raised in this denomination. I don't know what a preacher does. I can't talk in front of people. Nobody likes those guys. They don't make any money. I start giving all these excuses to God, and I sensed God laugh. And he said, many others have tried to get out of this and have failed, and so will you. Now, I thought that was kind of harsh. I did. I thought it was kind of harsh. So, and you've heard this story before. So I got up and I left again, and I was every emotion you can imagine I was going through because I loved God, and he just spoke to me, and I didn't like it. I didn't want to do it. And so I'm confused, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm depressed. I'm just like filled with all these emotions. So the next day in my dorm room, before the next day started, this to me was a very serious thing, and I wanted to get God off my back. I said, Father, again, I was like, this can't be true. If you really want me to preach, do this, this, and this. 3 specific things I mentioned. I don't know what they are today. Can't remember. But I do remember that day, those 3 things were transpired, happened so clearly that now I was really angry. I quit praying. I quit witnessing, which I love to talk about the Lord. I love sharing my faith with others. I didn't share my faith with anybody. I didn't talk about Christianity. I didn't witness anybody. I didn't pray. I wasn't having my devotions. I was mad. I was having a little teenager tantrum fit. I'm like, there's no way. I was miserable. Months later, it's almost towards the end of the school year. And I was so miserable because, like I said, I had this great relationship with God, but now it was broken. And I was miserable. So, again, one particular morning, I prayed and I said, Father, man, forgive me for avoiding you and all that. If you really want me to preach, let someone talking to me today bring up anything, even generally to do with church work, Christianity, or whatever, and I'll believe you want me to preach. I breathe that prayer out in a devotional time that I haven't had for several months. I go to first hour. After first hour, there's a female student, and she caught me after. She says, Mike, she says, you got class next hour? I said, no, I don't. I got free time. She's great, because I need to talk to somebody. Can we talk? I'm like, sure. So we went down into the library. We're sitting across those tables, those narrow tables, 3x8s or whatever they are.
Like a library table.
We're sitting across from each other. And again, I'll never forget it because it rocked my world. She sighed when we were done our conversation. She goes, oh, you're going to make a great pastor. Now you actually think I would have given in. But when I told God, do this if you really want me to, and I'll believe you, I didn't mean it. I was more angry than I ever was. I was like, God, you're going to ruin my life. I was so angry. That first summer came, and there's a tent meeting being advertised in Forest Lake. Never been to a tent meeting before. Excuse me. And so I thought, I'm going to go to this tent meeting. There's about 100 people there. My next younger brother, Kevin, he was there that night, and he just reminded me of this because I told this story yesterday. And he said, oh, I remember, I was there. And people from church today, were there as well. But there's about 100 people there, and the room was divided with a center aisle, tent meeting, preachers preaching up a storm. I sat on the right-hand side, 3rd row back, 3rd chair in. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, I was minding my own business, and God comes by, knocks on the door of my heart. He basically said, hey, Puddinhead. Okay, he didn't say that. He said, Mike, tonight's the night. Ask anything you want. And I was like, wow, he started it. So I thought, okay, this is going to be it. God, if you really want me to preach. See, that was in the forefront of my mind. It really was. My relationship with him was broken because I was running. And I was miserable. And I wanted that settled more than I believe if I'd asked for $1 million, I'd have got it. But there literally was something more important than that, and that was this whole idea of, God, what do you want me to do? Because I don't want to do what you're asking me to do.
Yes.
God says, Mike, tonight's the night. Ask anything you want. So I said, okay. If you really want me to preach, tell him, the evangelist. Again, the evangelist didn't know me from Adam, didn't know my family, didn't know nothing about nothing. I said, tell him. About a minute and a half after I breathed that up to God, he's walking past me and he stops. He points right at me. He goes, young man, you've been called to preach the word and you've been doubting it. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, wow is right. You know, in the sequence of time, just like with God, time doesn't mean anything. We had this conversation. God talked to me in just this idea. And basically, here's what I heard God say. Because at that moment, I surrendered. I remember saying, I don't know if I'll make a good one or a bad one, but I'll do my best. I remember just surrendering, saying, okay, you win, Uncle. How could you not in the light of what just happened? He said, ask anything. I said, tell him. young man, you've been called to preach and you've been doubting it. I surrendered. And in that moment, He knows us. He knows the concerns I had.
Yep.
He said to me, Mike, a lot of people don't like those guys, but don't worry. That's not going to be your issue. Money, I will take care of you.
Yeah.
I will provide for you. And He has. I will. You say you can't speak in front of people. It's true. I was a scared, afraid of my own shadow kind of a kid. And He said, I'll speak through you. I'm going to provide for you. I mean, all these concerns that I had, God basically reassured me, says, Mike, I'm going to take care of those. I share that story because this idea of trust God. Why? Because He is faithful.
Right.
I am now old, and I reflect a little bit more often about that 18-year-old kid in a chapel that God called, and I'm like, there's no way I can do this. And now I am coming to the end of my life, and I look back, and you know something? Everything God said He would do in that chapel, He has done.
Yeah.
Now, to follow kind of like the life of Moses or any leader, so it's not like I'm, setting myself up as something great. I'm not. But I just know this: if you're going to be a leader and serve God, your life is going to be filled with adversity. You're going to have difficulty. It's just the way it is. And I can recount story after story where I didn't think I was going to make it, and people were against me, and people didn't like me. I've had to fire people, which is extremely difficult and painful. I have had 3 major building programs, which 82% of most pastors don't survive a building program. I've been here for 3. I mean, so I'm just sitting here filled with gratitude. God, and I was sharing this the other day to encourage these other pastors to trust Him because He is faithful.
Amen.
I think back, He has been so faithful.
There's so much in your testimony, Pastor Mike. All of the expectations and assumptions that are unrealistic about what we think God is asking us to do.
Yeah.
And getting all that cleared out. It's interesting to me that God didn't give you the comfort of the concerns that you had until after you entrusted yourself to Him. You surrendered, and then He said, I will take care of these things. Yep. The other thing that strikes me is the what we think this is going to be is different than what it actually looks like.
Boy, that's for sure. We don't get to decide what brings God glory in our lives. He gets to decide what brings Him glory. We get to decide to obey and follow or disobey. So I just think about all of the entrusting and all of the surrendering that you did to the relationship that you had with God, really choosing to not worry about the details, that He was going to take care of that. And wow, look at what He's done. Yeah. And again, it's not easy. Just because God tells you doesn't mean it's going to be easy. When He first tells you, you think, oh, that's great. This will be marvelous. It's going to be wonderful. God's going to be with me. I'm going to, whatever, because God's on my side. Well, He's on your side, but there's a lot of people that are against God. So now they're going to be against you. It's just the way it is.
And appreciate the magnitude. If God is going to ask us to do something, it's a part of His bigger picture. Of course it's going to have contention come against it.
Yes, and that's why we can understand the Scripture, like when James says, hey, count it all joy when you meet various trials. Why? Because it builds perseverance. And let perseverance have its full effect. Because it's making you stronger. You do not get stronger without being under strain.
Yeah.
You don't. You don't develop patience in the absence of persecution. You don't develop these things unless it's difficult. You go in a weight room, you put your muscle under strain and stress. That's how they get bigger. Same thing within our life. Leadership skills, our will, our emotions, our passion, it has to be tested. And then it does grow. It does get stronger. It does. But God has literally, I now just want to continue to just talk about the faithfulness of God. I remember back when there was days We didn't know where our next meal was going to come from. I lived in the parsonage. I was finishing up school. I was a youth pastor. We literally did not have 2 nickels rubbed together. And I remember one time I went to the mail, and literally this person who was passing through the church, she happened to stop in on a Sunday that I was preaching, and she enjoyed it so much that at Christmas time, she knew that you were a young couple. There was a $100 check.
Wow.
Written out to us.
Nice.
Yeah, it was like, oh my gosh, because
what a
we're
sweet
eating
thing.
peas and macaroni and cheese, you know, and just struggling to get by. Now I feel guilty because I open my refrigerator and I complain. It's so full. You know, what's wrong with this picture, you know? Oh my gosh. You know, just the goodness of God. He said he was going to provide, and guess what he does? And then this morning, as we get ready to close up this time together, we are in Acts chapter 14, and Paul and Barnabas are preaching, and they're going along, and he basically says this, as I never thought of this as kind of a proof of the existence of God, but I just read it this morning. Paul is saying, nevertheless, he did not leave himself without witness, in that he did good. He gave us rain from heaven and fruitful seasons, filling our hearts with food and gladness. You know, it's so easy to be praying about some of these things, and we go, where's the goodness of God? You know something? You need to take 3 steps back. Here's the Apostle Paul saying, we know God is good. You know why? Because the sun rises. There's water. One of my younger brothers, he said, I'm thankful. He said, I'm never more than 100 yards away from a cup of water. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, we all have a lot to get thanks for, to be thankful and to trust God. Why? Because he is faithful. Hey, you all have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in. Be encouraged today at the goodness of God.
Hey, thanks for tuning in today. Please join us right here each Friday morning at 8 a.m. If you have any questions or comments about today's show, email wajc@yourliferadio.com. You can hear more from Pastor Mike at Maranatha's website, realchurch.org, on the Messages and Media tab. The opinions expressed here are not necessarily those of the